What's up, everybody? Craig Green back again with another edition of Falcons Daily for you today. Thanks again for everybody subscribing, liking, and sharing these videos and leaving all the comments that you're leaving as well. Guys, we're going to jump right into it. Today we saw, actually on Wednesday, we saw the rookie numbers released for the rookie draft class for the Falcons that came in. And we saw a couple of noticeable numbers out there. We'll start off with Jack Nelson, who's going to rock number 69. Billy Bowman's going to wear 33. Some of you might remember Michael the Burner Turner rocking that 33 for several years in Atlanta. Notable number here that we saw, one of the most notable numbers, is 31 going to Jordan Watts. So that kind of tells you right there that Justin Simmons most likely isn't coming back because his number was just given away. James Pierce Jr. is going to wear the same number he wore at Tennessee, number 27, a really odd number for an outside linebacker. Let me tell you about that, just from me being somewhat of a traditionalist with the numbers, but also pretty progressive thinking, where, I think there should be a little bit more freedom with the numbers, but seeing a linebacker wearing 27, pretty odd. Also, the most notable number you may have seen in the jersey release of sorts was Jalen Walker is going to wear number 11, same number he wore at the University of Georgia. And a lot of you, who've been following the Falcons for at least the last 10 years would have associated number 11 with one Julio Jones. And, some of you think that Julio's number should be retired because of his contributions to the Falcons and how good of a Falcon he was during his time in Atlanta. So what about Julio? I mean, why would the Falcons give out that number? Tell you why. Because, I mean, yes, as great as Julio was, I mean, let's be real. He wasn't the greatest Falcon receiver of all time. He may be the most dynamic, the most exciting, probably the biggest superstar they had at wide receiver. But superstar doesn't always mean Hall of Fame. It doesn't always mean Ring of Honor. It doesn't always mean nobody's going to wear your number again. I think for Julio, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, Roddy White is the greatest Falcon receiver of all time. He has the numbers to prove it. And yeah, Julio had, a fantastic career as a Falcon and not taking anything away from him. His exit out of Atlanta was kind of unceremonious, it was kind of rocky at the end. But I think he's deserving of Ring of Honor. He may be deserving of maybe Ring of Honor or some kind of Julio Jones day at least, or something at halftime, something to honor the man. But yeah, I've got no problem with the Falcons giving out his number. And who knows? Maybe the Falcons called him and said, "Hey, we're going to give this number out. I hope you don't mind." That's very possible that it could have happened. Emory Jones had 11 until Jalen Walker was given 11. He switched to number 15, so that way he could stay with a quarterback's number. But again, what about Julio? I say, hey, great Falcon, did a lot of memorable moments. I mean, I'll definitely remember him taking the screen pass from Matt Ryan to the house against the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. That's one of my favorite Julio moments. Also, I mean, you can't forget the catch against Carolina when he went up top, hit the elevator to the top floor, came down, dunked on Luke Kuechly, and then took it to the crib and scored that touchdown, and then did the dab. I mean, just poetic justice, especially in that 2015 season after what happened in the first game of Carolina. So, don't want to get on a soapbox about that, but let's continue on about Jalen Walker wearing number 11. Hey, the number doesn't make the man, the man makes the number. That's what Julio said when he first took number 11. So, and we're going to say the same thing about Jalen Walker because, when he goes out there and you see that 11, and if he's getting after the quarterback, you're going to be totally comfortable with him wearing it. But of course, if he's underperforming or not on the field or whatever it may be, the number 11 is not going to hit the same. So I've got no problem with the Falcons dishing out his Julio's old number again. Great Falcon, not the greatest Falcon, and Jalen asked for it and they gave it to him. So there's that. Next up on the list, guys, we're going to kind of stick with that theme, stay with it. Should certain numbers be retired for good for the Falcons or just really across the league? But I will stick, we'll keep it Falcon centric here. And I'll say, yeah, some. I went over the list of who's wearing what numbers. I went up and down the roster here. I did notice a lot of notable numbers not being worn, and most of these numbers are numbers that were worn by players in the Ring of Honor or players who are Ring of Honor worthy. I mean, first of all, the big noticeable number from last year to this year, 97. Of course, Grady Jarrett, that number has not been issued. Number 78, that number belonged to Mike Ken, offensive lineman. That number right now not being worn by a Falcon on the roster. Neither is number 60, of course, Mr. Falcon, Tommy Nobis, the first overall draft pick by the team in 1966. His number has not been reissued at all. Jesse Tuggle's 58 is not out there either. Another Ring of Honor player, and in my opinion, borderline Hall of Famer. Also, number 57 for Jeff Van Note, famous center for the Falcons. His number has not been reissued. Number 10, Steve Bartkowski. I can't remember the last time I seen anybody wear number 10 outside of Bartkowski. And of course, number 2, Matt Ryan. His number has not been reissued yet either. All those players I've named, every single player I've named is in, with the exception of Julio, is in the Falcons Ring of Honor. But the team said they don't officially retire numbers. So, I mean, and that's evident by the fact that Todd McClure's 62 has been given out. Roddy White's 84 was being worn by Cordero Patterson. And then now number 84 has been given out again. And right now that's being worn by one of the rookies coming into the, actually, I believe it's Felipe Franks who just switched to 84 with the rookies coming in and everything getting switched around. So yeah, the last Falcon to wear 84, of course, was Cordero Patterson. He was the last guy to rock the 84 for the Falcons. But yeah, no problem. I don't have a problem with some of these numbers being retired, especially I think, number one, I would say some of the guys whose numbers that we just spoke of are some of the greatest Falcons in the history of the franchise. So I know a lot of folks are really upset about Matt Ryan's number 2 not being reissued or whatever. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Matt Ryan's the greatest Falcon in the history of the franchise. I mean, in my opinion, I understand Tommy Nobis is Mr. Falcon, and his numbers on defense were, for his era were just astronomical. But what Matt Ryan meant to the city of Atlanta, what he meant to the franchise, really, not so much the city, but we'll just keep it football centric. The greatest era of Falcons football in terms of wins and losses, playoff appearances, chances to actually be a formidable team happened under the Matt Ryan era. Let's not get it twisted. Some of you may say, hey, it's because of Julio. No. Julio scored, I think 50. I don't have the number in front of me, but Julio scored more than 50 touchdowns as a Falcon. And yeah, even with Matt Ryan, not having Julio Jones on his team, I mean, he still is the greatest Falcon of all time. He still would be the record holder for touchdown passes in Falcons history. So I have no problem with Matt Ryan's number being retired, not being reissued for now or maybe ever. You may say the same that Deion Sanders may deserve the same respect as well with number 21, or some of you maybe say Michael Vick would deserve the same respect. I disagree. But also, it's okay to reissue some of these numbers and then put them on, the next great player as well. So that's what we've seen, I think, with 21. It's been a number passed down a lot of times defensively to a player who you think is going to exemplify what Deion did when he wore it. Same thing when it comes to number 7. I mean, yes, Michael Vick celebrated for his career as a Falcon. Of course, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also the redemption story. So again, Bijan Robinson wearing the number 7. I mean, looks damn good, especially because he's such a good player. So Desmond Trufant, I had no problem with him wearing 21. D'Angelo Hall. I mean, these were number one corners, lockdown corners, so to speak, or at least in theory. That's why these guys have these numbers. That's why they were reissued at 21 because of the legacy of Deion Sanders and hopefully the Falcons are hoping those guys can carry it on. Similar to Dallas with the number 88, Michael Irvin, of course, now CD Lamb wearing it, goes back some decades with the Cowboys, or even number 11 with Penn State, LeVar Arrington, all the way down to Abdul Carter. So these are. I have no problem with some numbers being retired and other numbers being reissued. Hey, Julio's number got reissued, Matt has not. I understand it. Again, Matt Ryan's the greatest player in the history of this franchise. You know, it's up for debate, but and opinions. Everybody's got their opinion, but you can go. I mean, I like to look at wins and losses and statistics as my factors a lot of times, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, that was the best era of Falcons football from 2008 to 2021, even with Super Bowl 51, even with um, the down years. Again, still the best era of Falcons football happened under number two, and I have no problem with his number not being reissued. Especially if you're doing a Matt versus Julio comparison. Now, I mean, some other guys, I'd say, Steve Bartkowski, I understand it, but still, I don't know. You could give his number back out, I'm sure. 57, the rest of the numbers, I get it. Grady's number, he just literally left, so I can also understand not giving out his number because Grady, again, what he meant to Atlanta, not only for the team, but to the city, was just it's hard to put into words and it's hard to compare. Again, so yeah, let his number cool off at least for a season. Give it out if you absolutely have to, and if you're going to give out the numbers that you have sitting on the back burner, make sure you give them out to some high quality players, or at least players that you really really believe in. Let's move on, guys. We're going to go on here to talking about Zack Harrison. And why we're talking about Zack Harrison, the reason why is because there was a interview done or a press conference with Falcons defensive line coach Nate Ollie, and he was talking about uh, not only Zack Harrison but the defense as a whole. We'll get to that in a little bit, but he's expecting some big things out of Zack here in year three. I mean, and honestly, it's time for Zack to try to make the jump. What's the expectations for him in year three? I think he needs to definitely make a jump. You know, had one sack last year. Didn't have any sacks in his rookie year. But we need Zack to be that big man coming off the edge and giving Falcons some good plays here when they're trying to give their starters some rest. I mean, Big Zack against 6'5", 270. I mean, he's definitely your prototypical, I would say, 4-3 edge rusher uh, coming off the defensive end there. But we'll see what he's got in 2025. I mean, again, he did play 16 games in 2023, 17 games last season, and again, 4 sacks total in his career right now. So I want to see Zack get, up to lead, let's see if he can get 5 sacks as a reserve player or as a rotational player, that is, get some more stuffs. I want to see him set the edge. I want to see Zack uh, be able to keep the quarterback, any mobile quarterback in the pocket and make him throw from the pocket versus escaping out and leaking out and getting those killer yards on second, third down or what have you. But I think Zack Harrison expectations, in my opinion, again, got to be on the field. The best ability you can have is availability. So, be on the field. And also, let's see if we can get that sack number up to around 4 or 5. Again, that would make a big difference, I think, for the Falcons, especially if he's coming off the bench as a reserve. Lastly, guys, we're going to, speaking of, I just mentioned third down, and we talked about Nate Ollie. Nate Ollie's article, or the article about Nate Ollie, anyway, that I was reading from NFL.com, and his press conference, uh, he was trying to channel some pugilistic energy, I guess we could say, talking about he wants his team to attack like Mike Tyson. He wants to throw haymakers. So, can the Falcons on defense, their defensive line, can they score some third down knockouts? Because really, that's what the Falcons need more than anything else. I mean, the Falcons getting off the field on third down, it's been a hard. I mean, they've really struggled getting off the field in third down. Uh, you know, it seems like they get their back broken really every time they need a play to be converted on third down. So that's for me, they're going to have to do a better job of, uh, you know, getting those coverage sacks or getting, setting them back on first and second down to make third down a lot more manageable. But yeah, I think the Falcons right now um, are going to have to really do a much better job, not only again on first and second down of run stuffs and also maybe mixing in some man coverage and some zone coverage, but third down I think is the money down, and that's really where you do want to have your man to man or your zone blitz and trying to throw the other team off. But coverage sacks are a real thing. Also, so is just winning your matchup to a man up front. And that's why I said guys like Zack Harrison are going to be big, because when they come in limited snaps and limited roles, especially when you got the Leonard Floyds of the world and the Arnold Ebiketis and the Jalen Walkers in front of you, your opportunities are going to be limited. So I think for the Falcons defense and for that third down defense, again, it's got to have a better sense of urgency. I mean, they're going to have to again stick to their to what they know, what they've been coached up on, and execute. A lot of times we hear people want to blame the scheme or blame play calling on misfortunate plays. And honestly, I don't think I've ever heard a player say, "Hey, if we called this play, it was going to score us a touchdown automatically." Or if we dialed up this play, it's always going to be a sack on third down. Players just got to execute better. And I think that's what it's going to take for the Falcons here to score some of those third down knockouts and to have their hand raised in victory on third down, put the fist up, meaning fourth down for the opposing offense, and they're going to have to punt. So that's what we're looking for from the Falcons this year. It's going to be, with Nate Ollie's vision is going to come to fruition. The Falcons are going to have to really take the task at hand to heart, win their matchups, do all the little things right. And again, a lot of times when you do the little things right, you're going to like the results at the end of the season. Thanks again, y'all, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow on Falcons Friday with more content for you. It will be the start of Falcons rookie minicamp, and we'll give you some little tidbits and things you need to know going into that. Also, you guys want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Craig G Sports. So that's CRAIG, the letter G Sports. You can follow me on pretty much any social media platform at that handle. And again, thanks again for liking, subscribing, and also turning on your notifications so you don't miss anything new that we drop for you. So until tomorrow, thanks again, guys. I'm CG. I'm out, and we'll see you later.